I would hope that this little chunk of land is beginning to breathe again, that it was beginning, its heart was beating again, that life was returning to it the way life ought to be.
This beautiful coastal property is the latest project in the Nova Scotia Nature Trust's continuing mandate to protect significant natural lands in Nova Scotia. It is a gift from an icon, a Canadian author and environmentalist who has put his treasured property where his mouth has always been, in the service of Canada and now Nova Scotia. Farley Mowat has written some 40 books in his lifetime, some of which have changed the way we think of Canadian society, our wildlife, and the land itself. Farley is 86 now. He wants to give back.
Supporting this kind of a project is the only way I can see that I can do something in a positive, physical way. It's all very well to bemoan the fate of life on Earth in philosophical terms, but what can I do, if anything, to make things a little better? Well, I think that supporting the concept of preservation of little bits of nature, little bits of life, little bits of wilderness, the cradles of nature, supporting these things is definitely within my reach. It's something I can do. So, bloody well, I'll do it.
This point of land is Farley's Ark, some 200 acres nestled in St. Peter's Bay on the Bredor Lakes of Cape Breton Island. It has been a writing studio and summer home for Farley and his wife Claire for the last 30 years. It is now part of lands held in trust for all Nova Scotians by the Nova Scotia Nature Trust. Farley shows me his oasis.
From here, you're looking at coastal waters, the Lennox Passage, our own little bay, and then you're looking at the open ocean, so you have a variety.
You know, when we first looked at the maps and the air photo of this place, to have 200 acres of a pretty pristine coastline and the diversity of habitats that are here, like you were talking about with the ocean environment and the freshwater wetlands and the bogs and the coastal forest, it's a wonderful little piece of ecological richness. You've got all that captured in one piece, and that's really important from the Nature Trust perspective.
What I particularly wanted to find was an oasis, a sanctuary, a piece of land that had not been totally screwed up by human manipulation, where birds and animals and insects and reptiles and vegetation could live their own lives undisturbed, or pretty well undisturbed by human behavior. Want that duck? Want that duck? You really want that duck, do you? Oh? Okay, here you go.
Farley Mowat has spent his life putting thoughts on paper, explaining nature, so the rest of us might understand that connection to the land. For Farley, it is part of his being.
It made part of the fabric that holds me together, the cloth that is me. With a thread in it. And without those threads, and without their renewal, and frequent renewal, by contact with the others, as I call the rest of nature, we become shabby and like scarecrows blow away in the wind.
Why would this world-renowned and controversial author and environmentalist approach a small Nova Scotian organization to steward his land?
Here is a piece of land, right here now. We can save it. It can preserve it. It becomes an oasis. The Nature Trust is doing exactly what I had in mind, but they're doing it locally, that is to say in Nova Scotia, and that's fine with me. And this morning I broke the whole thing, but she's already got re-rigged and about half rebuilt from the look of it. Yeah.
It's a pretty little thing. Yes, it's just a pretty little thing. Oh, yes.
She said, stop fooling around. I know your reputation, Farley, she said.
This beautiful part of Cape Breton is a great place to spend 6 months of the year. It is also a place of hard work, for it is here that Farley Mowat has written his last 6 books, And with the establishment of the Mowat Environmental Institute in 1992, this lab has collected 15 years of research and data on the flora and fauna which inhabit this ark.
The intention was that it would do a very, very detailed assessment of everything alive on the 150 acres, which became 200 acres, embraced and encompassed by the area. And then this would become the canary in the mine. Every year we would assess the state of being of all forms of life on this oasis, this land-based ark, and leaving property in trust so that it will be fit into the oasis concept, the oasis pattern, the ark pattern, fulfills this need that I feel, and which I think more and more people are beginning to feel. You see it in the reaction to organizations like the Nova Scotia Nature Trust. It's catching fire in people's imaginations.